Welcome back to this module. We are continuing to build on how can we apply this on a daily basis. And we talked about decision-making fatigue, and we talked about one of the ways to eliminate having to make decisions, one of the ways to create transformation is to use the power of habits. Habits are either working against you and destroying you, or they are working for you and helping you grow into the person that you desire to be. So we're going to work on the latter. We're going to work on creating new habits and some of the keys of being able to do that, of having the power of habit. So nothing will create greater change in your life than the power of the habit. These habits begin to shape our life, become our character, become our destiny. So they are really, if you understand that and you desire change, when I look at myself and I say, I'll be transparent. Okay, I'll say, I'm getting a little bit too thin. Okay, and I'll be like, I feel like I'm losing some muscle. I need to develop a new habit that includes strength training. This is a real thing I have to do. So is it hard at the beginning? Is it easy to forget? Is it easy to excuse and not do it? Yes. So what I know is if I can get 21 days, 30 even better, of a routine, if I have it on my schedule, I know when it is, and I can implement this habit, I know it'll become part of my life from this point on. And this is how you can know for yourself, I want to make a change. I desire to make a change. First thing that should go off when your client says they want to make a change, or you as the coach wants to make a change, bell should ring, if you're auditory, that I need to create a new habit. All right, what's my habit going to be? When is it going to be, and what is it going to be? The power of habit working for you. Brain research has taught us that this is amazing. If you look at the science, I wish I had time, but the brain science shows that even when memory is impaired, after a serious accident, after serious Alzheimer's, the habits continue. And they allow someone to live by the power of habit. I had someone recently thinking about moving their parents out of the house. And I said, because of Alzheimer's, and I said, one of the things that you can read, and you can read these stories and documents in the book, The Power of Habit, is that there's a lot of things in the house that are habit. And that person may not be able to tell you. If you ask directions to the bathroom, they couldn't tell you, they're clueless, they have no idea. But they will get up when they need to go to the restroom and they'll walk straight to it. And scientists began to say, wait, how is this happening? Because I ask them a question, they can't tell me where it is, they're lost. But they find their way. Why? The power of habit. It's these neural pathways that are already ingrained in us. Well, success can become a habit. Follow-up can be a habit, right? Exercise can be a habit. And so these habits can form even outside of our consciousness or be deliberately created. We have habits, both unconscious habits that we don't even think about, and we have conscious habits. Research conducted by Duke University in 2006 showed that more than 40% of the actions that we take are not even conscious decisions. They're simply habit. Do you really think about which shoe you put on first? But you probably put the same one every time. Do you really think about which side that you brush your teeth first? But we probably do it the same every time. You probably walk into church and sit in the same place every time, okay? So a lot of the stuff is just there. So the power of habit breaks habits down into three important components. When you're trying to create a new habit, you need to understand what makes a habit. What's the guts of a habit, okay? The power of habit breaks habit into three important components, okay? The first is a reminder or a cue. It's a trigger. We want to deliberately establish something that reminds us, okay? I have some people that have started a morning exercise routine. And I say, what's the first thing you do in the morning? Well, I go in the bathroom. Great, put your gym bag in the bathroom and get dressed right there. And the clue is I've got my sneakers on, I'm ready to go. That was planned the night before, I'm ready to go, okay? That's an example of putting this into place. For me, I know that when I get up and I make my drink of Delta E and Beauty Infusion and I drink that, I know about halfway through the glass, I'm going to have a lot of natural energy. And that's perfect reminder that my dog is barking that he's ready for his walk. Those are my cues to start that new habit of walking or running around the block. So there's a reminder. That's the first part of a habit. Establish some kind of cue, some kind of reminder. Then there's the routine. These are all R's. Reminder, routine. There's a certain routine. There's a physical, mental, or emotional routine that is part of the habit. For me, I desired a new habit of walking and jogging every day. So I go on the same loop. I know exactly what a mile is, and I do it the same way. I walk the same direction exactly the same time every day. That's the routine. Finally, there's a reward. A reward. That tells your brain that that was a really good thing. That was satisfying. I like that. Your brain says, I like that. I want to do that again, because you're going to want to do it again, right? So the rewards, some of them are natural rewards that you just start feeling better from the exercise or your body starts changing. But some of them you can build the reward in. If I do this for 30 days, I'm going to go buy myself a new outfit. If you can create your own. So if you have the reminder, the routine, and the reward, you will have the makings of creating a new habit. Now, we've got the other side of it, that there's some bad habits. Maybe, it's hitting the snooze button in the morning, but there's some habits that are not working in your benefit. They're not making you the person that you desire to be. Eating the chocolate ice cream for dessert every night after. Who am I busting? That just came out of nowhere. That was a prophetic download. Who's doing it? You know yourself. Okay, so the good news is that habits can be created like we're talking about, but they also can be changed or they can be replaced. So the secret is changing a habit. The secret to changing a habit is to keep the cue. Keep that. So if there was something that made you go eat the chocolate ice cream, just leave that. Don't mess with the cue. Change the routine. And find something that gives a similar reward. Okay, so keep the cue and the reward the same. Just change the routine. Okay, so maybe it is the chocolate ice cream. And so maybe the cue, I just had lunch and my brain said I desire some dark chocolate. But I happen to know that pure dark chocolate is an original health food, okay, without the sweeteners and everything. So, I want a little piece of chocolate. That will hit the same pleasure centers as a big thing of chocolate ice cream. Maybe it'll take a little adjustment because you're in a habit. But I get the cue, eat a square of chocolate. You're not putting on 20 pounds and getting diabetes and all of the other things. Just change the routine, but the reward will be there. Oh, I feel satisfied. Oh, that tasted good. I feel like I got my sweets in. See how that works? Just change those. So tool number 1, when we're talking about habits, is discover the cue. When you're doing something that is a habit you would like to change, be an investigator. Pay attention to yourself, or if you're helping your client, pay attention to your client. They're desiring to make a change. Say, let's discover the cue here. You've got a habit. You're desiring to change. You got a habit of procrastination. You have a habit of playing victim. You have a habit of complaining. You have a habit of not exercising. Whatever it is, okay, let's look at the cue. What happens that starts that process? So I just gave you an example with the chocolate, so I won't go through that again. But just make a note to begin to discover what the habit is. Tool number 2, discover the reward. What is the reward? Some of them you may not consciously know. A lot of people don't know that cheese triggers the same, as does sugar, the same opiate receptors in your brain as opiates. So cheese is addicting. When you get started on it, you got people that would kill for cheese. I've got to have my cheese. That's why when you start having pizza, you have to have more and more cheese, etc. It's addicting. It's hitting the opiate receptor. So you've got to know, what is the reward? What is it that makes me keep eating this, even though I know what it's doing to my body? Why do I keep doing it? Or what it's doing to my business or my income? Why do I keep doing it? discover the reward. Suppose that you discover that the cue is boredom, for example. Okay, the cue is boredom. So in the past, each time that your client is bored, they head to the snack drawer, they eat, okay? Or they head to the vending machine at work. So we've discovered the cue. I get restless, I'm bored, I'm sitting at my desk, I'm bored, we've discovered it, bingo, right? So next, discover the reward. What is the satisfaction? What's the pleasure that they experience when they go to the vending machine or they grab the snack drawer or the candy? Or what's the reward? What do I feel? Did it give me energy? Did it make me feel happier? Was it just the breaking the boredom? Was it satisfying the need? What was it? And then begin to create a new routine. So we looked at the front end. What's the cue? Leave that alone. Just discover so you're aware of it. We looked at what's the reward. Leave that alone. Change just the routine, and you will be in the making of creating a brand new habit. So it's important to choose a replacement routine. So for example, maybe I did totally love chocolate ice cream. Well, maybe I just change it to vegan coconut ice cream. Okay, so I could keep the same cue. Maybe I change it to 1 scoop, and then I still get the same reward, the same satisfaction. But again, I'm not getting brain fog. I'm not gaining weight, etc. So now we begin the conscious formation of the new habit. When the cue kicks in, I'm bored, I'm craving a dessert, I'm stressed, whatever it is. Oh yeah, when I feel that, I'm going to do the new routine. I'm going to make sure I have the coconut vegan ice cream or whatever. Okay? There's lots of examples. This is how AA works, right? This is how, when they feel the need to have a drink instead, let's get to a meeting. Let's call a sponsor. It's, walking in nature. We can apply this in every area of life, relationships, business, everything that comes up with your clients. This will work. Tool number 4, accountability. This will up the ante of making a new habit. It's one thing to try to do it by yourself, easy to cheat, easy to forget, easy to get distracted, accountability. So solidify. If your clients have told you that their intention is to lose weight, have more energy, make more money, whatever, and we've looked at the cue, we've looked at all of these, we've created the new routine. Now, let's talk about that on each coaching call. You as a coach, make that part of the plan each time you talk. Let's talk about this. Come back to it. Make a note. Have them, remember we talked about wins, keep a record of their successes and their trials. That can go in the wins that they share. I'm working on my new habit. I made it 5 out of the 7 days. I read 5 out of the 7 days. Great, that's 5 more than you were doing. Celebrate it, no judgment, keep going. Okay, so as we look at this whole unit, of the importance of a habit, discovering the habits that are no longer serving you, no longer serving your clients. We now know how to dissect a habit to know how to replace it with a better one. You have the tools to look at those 3 R's, okay? We now know how to create a new habit because we'll use those same 3 components of it to create a new habit. And so your client, coaching success, your client understands the power of habit. They understand and identify the cue, the routine, and the reward. They journal it. There's accountability. They talk about it on coaching. They've created an alternate routine to replace that one. And we began to give it enough time to work. So this is big. This can really make a huge difference in your coaching, helping a client get a new habit. Wow. The things that can happen. Imagine if you get a client that gets in the habit of follow-up, or imagine a client that gets in the habit of exercise, or imagine a client that gets in the habit of daily spiritual practice. We're getting into the meat and bones of what really creates change. Is habit working against you or habit working for you? You now have the tools in your toolbox to create a habit or change a habit. We'll see you in the next module. We're going to keep on going. Going to get bigger, better, deeper. Here we go.